Okay, let's call this meeting to order at 7:03. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? We're gonna put you under public comment, I think. Yeah. That's follows the introductions of the Planning Commission, which is what we're gonna do right now.
Nikki Cribb.
Ken Carter,
No,
state your name.
yeah.
State your name.
Yeah.
That's Gary Foot.
Gary. Right.
And now we were gonna open the meeting to public comment. Can you just make sure that green light is on the microphone there?
And now it is on. Okay. I was frustrated to hear at the May meeting that you had somebody from regional planning coming, talking about the maps for the town plan. That is something I'm very passionate about.
I know.
And so I went on to YouTube and listened to that, and Nikki is exactly right. It wasn't properly worn, so I didn't get a chance to see that that was happening, or I've been here. So you probably don't know that when the last village designation was done, the select board tapped me to take care of the paperwork and do all of that. In the process of doing it, I was telling the folks, you know, the maps in the Bakersfield plan are wrong and they need to be adjusted. And they said, we're not the ones that do that. We need to get this village designation through, and then your planning commission, they have the responsibility of amending those boundary lines on that map and correcting that map. So I brought you a copy of that portion of his email back to me. And so
Was it someone from Northwest that emailed you? Or,
it was Vermont Department of Housing and Community Development, Community Planning and Revitalization. It was Richard Amore.
Housing and Community Development, is that what you said?
I'll give you a copy of this. And it's got-
That'd be great.
and he was saying, you know, get in touch with Greta at Regional Planning and work out the amendment for these boundaries.
Good, yeah, I don't know if you were actually able to see any of those maps that he presented that night, but,
No,
yeah.
didn't come up on the screen.
well, we can show you some of that, but they were there, most of that meeting when he was here was talking about changes to Act 250. And and that's gonna make some new changes in the maps once
Yes,
we choose to opt in or opt out of.
I'm also one of the town's representatives
Oh,
at
right.
Regional Planning.
Right.
So, Mario Weinberger was there at the last meeting and discussing that, let's build homes.
Hmm.
And he said, before we can do that, Regional Planning needs to change their plan, and then the towns need to change theirs. And so Regional Planning had just updated their plan, but they're hustling to get their new plan
Yeah.
done, so to accommodate that. Because what they're talking is about being able to put 50 homes on a 10-acre lot.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of discussed that with him, Luke, when he was here last time, and that doesn't seem likely for Bakersfield, but
It could be.
it's
I
potential.
think the goal for Bakersfield was 43 homes, sticks in my brain.
Yeah, in the next
Oh, well,
25 years or something, it wasn't.
What's your put
yeah.
43 homes in Bakersfield? Fine.
But
Yeah.
thing is, the school population is diminishing,
Yes.
shrinking,
Mhm.
and will be like the islands, will have to close our small school.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not.
That's another topic, but it's kind of the left hand needs to know what the right hand's doing. And they talk
Absolutely.
about walking communities. And, there's portions of this map, the way it is now, that people in those areas have to walk to the post office to get the mail because it's not delivered to their homes. So, but they're not considered to be in part of the village center where you're supposed to be in walking distance.
Hmm.
People on the south end of Main Street think that the reason that they didn't get sidewalks when the new pavement was put through the Main Street was because they were outside of the village center.
Hmm.
I don't know that that was true, but that's a safety hazard.
Mm,
No sidewalks at that end of
yeah,
town.
yeah. Yeah, I know that was a long time coming, those sidewalks, but yeah, I don't remember what the
And
detailed
V-Grant
work.
has grant money available for sidewalks, and it should be a priority for
Mm.
Bakersfield.
Mm.
Because if you saw the near misses, you would not.
Mm.
We don't want to wait until some kid gets killed.
Of course not. So you have some information for us? So
I do.
that map that you're talking
This
about?
is the same map that you have in the current.
Okay, so you didn't make any changes to it, or it didn't
I
need
did
any
not make
changes?
Any changes to
Okay.
it. But, probably need a subcommittee to work on that, and they probably need to go to some of these sites and look at them. Because it looks like this was done from the desktop and
Yeah.
nobody got their feet wet.
Yeah, well, this is gonna be timely because we're about to start working on our plan. We got
Yes,
news that we got the grant, so this is gonna work out fine, good, we'll be able to do some map work in the near future and
very good.
Yeah.
I'll be here. I'll be the thorn in your side.
No, we-
No,
we
no,
want
we're
you
welcome.
here
We
from
welcome some
the
public.
You are,
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
you're very welcome. And if you could, you have copies of that or just the
I
one?
do have copies.
Beautiful.
It's
Send it.
just that portion.
Do you,
Where he says-
Could you
Do you know-
also email this to me?
I
Because
could.
I would really like just to put it in.
Yes,
minutes.
because you gotta be able to.
I can just cut and paste it
Yep.
right in. That would be perfect.
this was the map he brought the other last meeting. I don't know if is that the same one that you have?
That's the same one.
Yeah, okay.
See, the other thing. They not only cut right through my backyard, but they also call the town common part of the cemetery. and
We
that-
talked about that
Yeah,
and
that's
it's not.
been a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you bringing that
We
up.
know
before,
that's
yeah.
not.
It's not.
Yeah, we're gonna try to tighten these maps up to make them more follow property lines and
Good.
That is the goal, is to make them follow property line
Very
as much as possible. There are gonna be some oddities, I'm sure, where the zoning changes, but
We're doing septic systems in a different.
in somebody else's yard. Or
Mhm.
different
in a
zone.
different
Different
district.
district.
Uh-huh. Maybe that'd be beneficial
My
somehow.
garage, Driveway, all of that's in a different district.
Yeah, I don't know why those maps happen like that, but,
That's all I have for you.
well, thank you for coming.
We really appreciate it, Linda.
You're welcome.
We'll, keep your ears open for when we start.
I'll just show up.
Okay, fine. It's easy walk for you.
Yeah.
We haven't really discussed any schedule yet, but there's probably gonna be times when we have meetings not on
The
our
regular
first
Monday.
Monday, so,
Yes. And there was times when you had meetings that you weren't even talking about town plan,
yeah,
so.
Yeah.
I wasn't bothering to come because.
yeah. Well, last month was confusing for all of us because Tammy had usually been the one to do the agendas, and so we had kind of gotten reliant on her, and then she's now off the board, so no one really knew. We knew we had to meet, but we didn't have an agenda. And Nikki has volunteered to.
But,
Maybe.
but when we say an agenda, really, all I can do is put out a generic agenda, because unless somebody is telling me that we've got a guest, and I'd have no way of knowing. So we have to figure out some communication.
Yeah.
But we will, I can add you to the email list if you want when I send out the agenda.
Mhm. That
Oh,
would be
well,
great.
except I send it to Tammy.
And she sends it out.
Yeah. We'll talk.
Okay. Very good.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
Okay,
Do we have copies of the the minutes? I know Bill sent them to me and I read them,
No.
but
we read, so we did not approve February and March, is that correct?
yes.
I think February and March, weren't they?
Yeah.
And you were, and Gary wasn't there for those meetings, so we still can't do that because we don't have quorum.
All right. We'll push that to July's meet, yeah,
We could
July's
do
meeting.
Mays, if you read Mays.
Is that yours?
Yes.
Yes, I did read those. Those were fine. Did you read May's meetings? Minutes? Did you read the minutes from May's meeting that Nikki put
I
out?
don't have the minutes.
You don't have them?
Did you read them? Do you remember? Did you get them in an email?
I didn't get a copy.
Hmm.
Okay, hang on. Let's see, I might be able to. Or we could just push them over to next month.
Sure. 'Cause
Did
Bill-
you see them?
I saw them, yes.
Yeah,
I think what we should do at this point is email February, March and May and June all together.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone will have them in one place and we'll be reminded
Yeah.
rather than having to
I second that.
dig. Okay. Let me make a note, mail, May, June, and February. Okay,
Okay, the next meeting is probably on July. What's
It's gonna
sixth or
be
seventh? The fourth is a Friday.
So I see July 4th is on Friday,
Friday.
July
The
5th, 6th, it'd be the 7th.
July 7th. Is
it's
that,
it's the first Monday, isn't it?
What's that?
wouldn't that be the first?
The first Monday is the first,
Yeah.
oh. No,
First Monday.
the first Monday is the seventh, you're
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Can everyone make that that's here tonight?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
July 7th.
Yep.
At 7 o'clock.
So is there anything that should be on the agenda for next month while we're all thinking about it that we want to add?
Was there anything that we needed? Was anyone coming back from that last?
Should we discuss the maths again? I feel like that's,
I think these are the two we approved last time. Who came? Yeah, we can put the map, talk about maps on the agenda, that's fine with me. Maybe can't continue, or maybe Brian should be telling you or all of us if there's gonna be a hearing,
Hearing.
cause I mean, like the last two meetings where we've had hearings, it seemed like
we didn't
they just
know.
showed up and, you know, that Brian knew about it, but we didn't know.
We
about it,
didn't.
So maybe they're either if Tammy knows and she can tell us,
Yeah.
or Brian can tell us. I think, I mean, probably the best thing would be for Brian to tell us.
I will email Tammy. Okay,
Any other business?
Hmm?
Any other business?
Nope.
No?
okay,
Nikki?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
And all sucking it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is ending at 7:16. Oh, not a record. 13 minutes. Pretty darn close.